Hi everyone. I have the actor, comedian, and the musician Senzo Mthethwa. How are you?
I am great, Siddharth, and thank you for having me. Hope all is well on your side.
Well, everything is okay. It's just been a bit of a rocky, 2020, and hopefully the new year can only get better, can't get any worse.
That is true. That is true. We all are hopeful for a better 2021. And as well as I'm wishing the same for everybody else. I hope this is a much better year, more fruitful year for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm sure that your fans would like to know from you in general is like what inspired you to like get into the entertainment industry?
It's a funny story. I would say that the influence largely came from my family. They're
Okay.
quite hilarious, uh, you know, and so growing up, we had a nice balance of both of education as well as humor. And it was from that moment that I realized that this is what I want to do and what I want to get into. And, as a child, your parents will try and steer you in a different direction. They'll be like, no, become a
Hmm.
doctor or a lawyer or
Yeah.
something else. And so I had that idea in the back of my mind, which is why I studied marketing. But I knew deep down that entertainment was for me, and this is the route and the journey that I wanted to go on.
Okay. In general, through your lifetime and career, like what have been like your highs and lows?
Fortunately, in the entertainment industry and also within my
Hmm.
career, I was blessed
Hmm.
to have more highs than lows. I would start with the lows. The lows being some of the losses in my life. Being both my parents as well as my adoptive parents. Family members along the way. I would rate those as my lows because I would have loved to have seen I would have loved to have had them see the journey that I had gone on and where I am today. I mean, my parents would be so proud to hear that I'm on Lotus FM, which is a radio station that I grew up listening to as a child.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
it's a nice success story there. But in terms of the highs, I got to start with the fans. They've really been so good to me. They've been so supportive. They've, been honest with their criticism because they want to see me grow and be better. So, the fans have been a really great high. They've been also very motivating and encouraging. Which is why I continue to do what I do.
Hmm.
When you get on stage, it is the thrill of the laughter and the capturing of the audience's attention is what you're after. And those are some of the highs. The other highs have been the ability to travel, around the country, performing to different audiences, especially like out of Durban. The audiences out of Durban have been so loving, so warming, so inviting that you want to go back and do more and give them more all the time. So the traveling has been great. Meeting people in the industry, both influential and even non-influential, the people that work in the background, those have also been my highs because you meet some beautiful people who teach you some great lessons. I wouldn't have been this far in the industry if I had not taken the advice of, let's say, my predecessors, because they leave you with some pearls of wisdom. And when you understand where they're coming from and why they tell you the things they tell you, you appreciate and you utilize that within your own life. And that also helps to further your career and take you to the next level. And I believe that's what it's all about. It's not just being complacent, it's about aiming for the next level. What is the next level of you? Where do you want to go? Does your journey just stop here or do you keep going? Also, to mention other highs have been the events that I've been a part of and been able to be involved in. Uh, Never in my lifetime would I have thought that I would have been comparing such great events. I would have been featured in like movies and series and things. So there have been more highs than lows. I'm going to say that.
Wow, that answer of yours was actually great because that actually lends me to my next question. You performed with people such as Neil Green, Calvin Goldstone, and Arnott Penn. What was your experience like being with them?
So here's a fun fact that very few know. I started my stand-up comedic career with these gentlemen. At the time, we were called the
Okay,
Laughing Stock. That was the name. That was the name of the group. And
okay,
their very first show, I appeared as an open mic guest. So I had worked with Rishlu Bonwa at a call center back in the day, and he introduced me to Carvin Goldstone, Neil Green, Marvin Peters, so many comedians from that stable. And so I had approached Rishlu. I said, "Listen, I know you guys are having a comedy show. Can I be a part of it?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're having an open mic. Prepare a set, and you'll be a part of it." And I wrote some material. I tested it out on family. It sounded good. Went onto stage, did my thing. People enjoyed what it is that I did. But what I noticed when performing is that I offer a different view on my comedy because you don't have many Black South Africans who are raised by Indians and can share that experience. So that was the route that I had taken, and it had proven to be fruitful because so many people wanted to hear my story and understand my journey, and were able to laugh at the things that I could laugh at also. So it was great. So we started off with Laughing Stock. Also, great stable of guys, very helpful, very influential, helping to hone in on like what it is, what comedy is about. So that was awesome, and I believe it was because of those performances I was scouted by the Dingling Productions, and they had got me to come and do a show for them. The first show was called Comedy Shop, and
wow,
sitting with them as well, they asked me to prepare some material, and I did that. They listened to it. They were able to offer some advice in terms of how to take the comedy to the next level, to make it funnier, to make it relevant, and it has been going great ever since. I'm still part of the Dinglings. I'm still friends with the guys from Laughing Stock, Carvin, Neil, Rishlu. So it's been a really wonderful journey, and it's going to continue. I'll say that.
okay. You've compared those like the Kumar Sanu and Alka Yagna concert and Valentine's with Abhi. What was your experience like doing those sorts of things?
When you get an opportunity to perform on stage or even share the stage, I would say that's the correct word, share the stage with the likes of Alka Yagnik and Kumar Sanu, that for me was a turning point in my life. I had never dreamed that I would get an opportunity to be on the stage with Bollywood playback singers. I mean, Kumar Sanu, almost, I would say he's a Guinness record holder for recording the most amount of songs.
Yes.
Man, so it's such a privilege, especially when you get to hear and understand their history, where they've come from, and their struggles as well as their triumphs. So that was a lot of fun. Really friendly people. Also, the rock star Abhi, they called him. Very friendly guy, very approachable. That was a lot of fun. Another highlight to add to that was I also got to compare when Kanika Kapoor came down to South Africa. She performed in Durban. So I got to compare that, and, again, getting to meet another great Bollywood playback performer. Also, I got a chance to be the curtain raiser for local comedian Riyad Musa. He had done a show up in Joburg, and I was his curtain raiser. And he was so impressed with my material and my performance that he said that the next time he comes to Joburg, he'd love for me to be his opening act again. So it's just been an awesome time, an awesome ride, an awesome experience. And I hope that I have been been able to motivate and influence youngsters, especially the youth, to believe that comedy and entertainment is a viable career.
Hmm. Hmm. Yes. In general, what inspired you to get into like the radio space?
So growing up, I had been a huge fan of listening to radio, and I would say it started with my biological mom. She was a huge fan of Kozi FM, so Kozi FM
Wow.
was always on. So I was always listening to that, and then my adoptive parents, they loved Lotus FM, and fast forward to I would say 2018, I was approached by SABC for an idea and concept that they had to work with another radio stalwart, Romeo Tonko, I would say. And it's been a pleasure working with him alongside him. He's been very helpful, very informative. He's really taken me under his wing along this journey. And a lot of what I know about radio, I learned from Romeo. So, so I've always wanted to get into radio because of my love for music and for
Oh,
my love of entertainment.
okay. I'm sure you are aware that people are becoming more and more tech savvy. So, what's your thoughts on the new digital age?
My thoughts on the new digital age is what a time to be alive. I mean, we've got information at our fingertips,
Hmm.
and the digital age has allowed us to really take entertainment to the next level in terms of you don't have to necessarily be on a stage. You can be in your home, you can perform short skits. One of the benefits that the digital age has been able to provide is that like a entertainer like myself, I would have had to wait for an opportunity like an audition or for someone to offer an open mic so that people can see and hear what it is that I've got to offer. But now with the digital age, with the use of my cell phone and the access to the internet, from my phone I can provide content, and that's what they're calling them now, content creators. So it's a great
Yes.
time. You don't have to necessarily wait for an opportunity. You can do it from the comfort of your home, especially if you're someone that is confident about what you do and what it is that you offer.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
Now is the time. Now is the time to come out of your shell and show people what it is that you can do. So that I'd like to even share with you something that happened last year sometime. I was on a Facebook group and a kid approached me and said, listen, I want to become a singer. Can you help me? And I said to him, I was like, sure. Have you recorded anything? Have you put anything out there on social media? And he said, no. And that he was afraid of what people might say and the feedback. And to the people watching and listening right now, I want to say that if you want to get into the entertainment industry, you need to understand that criticism and feedback of your journey. Not everyone is
Hmm.
going to like what you do. Not everyone is going to be in favor. You are going to have naysayers. But if you are confident about the talent that you
Hmm.
have and you are
Hmm.
confident about who you are, then you will take the meat of the criticism. You'll take the meat of what they're saying and you'll throw the bones.
Hmm.
You take what you find will help and benefit you and make you better, and you'll ignore what you feel is not going to be or could be destructive for you. So it's like I said, it's a beautiful time to be alive. It's a great time to get your content out there. We're even seeing things like social media influencers. Like when I was a kid, this would never have been a career opportunity. This would never have been something that I could do as a living. But now, thanks to the digital age, this is a thing. A YouTube influencer, a TikTok influencer, you can help mold and shape people's lives by just being in the comfort of your home.
Wow, that's really amazing. In general, like through your life, you were having that stage of depression, and like, how did that occur, and how did you overcome it?
I would think being in the public eye had a little to do with that. Also, the pressures from your surroundings, from family, from friends, from fans, even from the naysayers. All of that impacted on me, as well as the loss of family members, especially when I lost my mom and dad. That really took a knock on me, because the people that you look up to and the people that you want to impress the most, when they're not there, how do you continue? How do you still stay motivated? There was a time in my life where I almost went off the rails, because you didn't have any father or mother figure to tell you right from wrong, and you had to decide your own journey and path. And like I said, I almost went off the rails. And the one thing that I am grateful for is that, because I'm so in tune with who I am and what it is that I'm about, I realized that, hey, this is not feeling right. I don't feel like Senzo anymore. And I spoke to my doctor and I said, listen, these are the things that I'm going through, and this is what's happening to me. And he suggested, maybe some antidepressants for a short spell. And it helped, sort of get me back on track. But also, the back of my mind, I knew that this is not who I am. I'm not the sort of person that's going to be taking antidepressants for the rest of my life. So the moment I felt that, the moment I felt stronger and I felt more confident and I felt independent again, I kicked the medication, and I went back into exercise. I went back into reading, doing the things that made me feel like me again. And that is how I overcame the depression. It was a tough journey. You sort of dip back in and out every now and then. But for the people listening and watching, understand that depression is a real thing. Anxiety is a real thing. And people will go through these things. And the best thing that you can do for people around that time is just be supportive and just encourage them. It's not an easy journey, but you can overcome it if you want to.
Okay. In general, how did you get into life coaching and motivation?
So that as well is another crazy story. So as I was going through my journey of depression, I had come across a motivational video by Tyrese Gibson. Now, Tyrese Gibson, you might remember from the Fast and Furious fame, as well as the movie Transformers.
Okay.
As well as Tyrese Gibson is also quite the singer, he was the one featured in an early soft drink ad. If I remember correctly, he was sitting in the back of the bus and he was going. So that was Tyrese Gibson, the very early Tyrese Gibson. And so I was watching a motivational video from him, and the things that he was saying really took to me, especially when he said that he was the one that actually said, firstly, what is the next level of you? Are you done growing as a person, as a brand? And when I listened to all the things that he had said, I had then gone on to watching and viewing other motivational videos and hearing the impact that these people have had on others' lives. And so I studied a course of life coaching. I'm a level 1 life coach through a company based in Durban. And the things that they taught you, I've been able to use that to help impact other people's lives. And, it's nothing crazy. If somebody today says they want to become an astronaut, I wouldn't say I've got the skills to help them become an astronaut, but I can help them gain the confidence to know that they can complete and achieve their goal.
Wow, that's impressive. On a final note, what made you take an interest in entrepreneurship?
So, from what I've gathered and what I've noticed in terms of other entertainers in the industry, comedy and entertainment can only take you so far and last you so long. And you need what people call nowadays a side hustle.
Oh.
And, you know, using your influence and using your stature, community, as well as in the industry, you're able to have an influence on people. And that is what I decided to do, is align my brand and align myself to be associated with things that even I would be proud of. So that's what I did. And the first thing that I ventured into was perfumes. I've got my own perfume brand that I've launched. So, and I'm also quite passionate about perfumes. So that was, I guess, where I was going to be headed at some point or the other. But it doesn't stop there. You know, there are other things that I want to get involved in, other brands and products that I want to align myself with. As I said, if I am happy to be a part of it, I want my fans and my listeners to also be a part of that. And I would never suggest something to them that I myself personally would not use or be a part of. So for people listening, especially the youth, you know, just to digress a little, a long time ago, I said that I want to be the most influential person of my time. And I believe I'm slowly getting there, because the youth especially, they require and they need motivational and influential people to help guide them. You know, it's great watching your favorite entertainers and your favorite stars do all these great things, but it's also got to motivate you to be a better person. It's got to motivate you to go to the next level, and also help you understand that anything is possible through hard work. Nothing falls into your lap. Nothing is an easy journey. I got into entertainment in my 20s. I would have loved to have gotten into it earlier, but you know, everything happens for a reason. But
yes.
From what I say is that hard work never killed anyone, unless you're working in a thunderstorm.
I never heard that line before, but what you say is true, and I'm sure with God's grace, all your wishes, desires, dreams will come true. And on that note, thanks so much for your time, eh?
Thank you so much for having me, and the very same to you. You know, I hope that your career also flourishes and you're able to take it to the next level. I want to hear great things from you and about you, Siddharth.
Thanks, man.